I have no idea what this is. Another itch.io game for people who love JoJo. We have Joestar struck. Do not ask me what the fuck this is. I've never played it. I noticed it when I was looking through games to play. And I thought, as a JoJo fan, what the hell is this like? So, today, my friends, are going to discover what the hell this game is about. Let's take a sip of iBrew right now. More like a goddamn guzzle. Okay, so let me just sort out this ratio because it is kind of different to mine on the thing. Sorry, fiddling. Okay, sorted. Okay, let's start this game. What is this about anyway? Preferences. Let's turn down that music volume a little bit. Okay. So this is a visual novel by the looks of things. I won't really say I'm a huge fan of them, but they're not bad. I can sit and play them depending on what the concept is of it, but hey. As I walk up the slope, I'm trying not to drag my feet. Students wearing the same uniform are walking along the same incline, split into little groups and talking animatedly even though it's so early in the morning. Why the hell are they all so happy? This school has one of the worst reputations in the whole city. But I guess it takes a special kind of person to come to a school like this. The kind of person who doesn't care that they're going to a school designed especially for delinquents. ... Or maybe I'm just grumping. Mornings aren't my thing. I kick a rock along with me, going as far as to veer on my path when I kick it too far out of the way. All these kids be damned. This rock will be my new friend. It's not like I have the intention of making friends at this new school, but starting a school year in the middle of the semester wasn't going to be easy. Everyone's already gotten into their little friend groups and have already bonded. Not much room for the new kid. Especially one who isn't even a delinquent. I kick a little rock. Do you know what? I'm gonna get rid of that cursor because I don't think anyone wants to see a goddamn cursor. Okay. I kick the rock a little too forcefully, and it skitters far ahead of me. I watch in slow motion as it zooms towards storm drain. Plop. I killed my one and only friend. May he rest in pieces. So this is it, huh? I was expecting busted windows and weeds, maybe a little more of ominous lighting, but it looks like any other school. The kids too, sure. There's more than a few crazy hairstyles and most have taken very generous liberations with the uniform, but they're not that bad. No, I can't get weak. Even if I'm lonely, I can't let my guard down. If I do, the next thing I'll know, I'll be in a gang and committing petty crimes and arson. Gotta stay on my toes. Constant vigilance. Hey there. Yo, Josuke! I jump and immediately take on a defensive stance that I've seen in an old kung fu movie. The guy laughs and looks at me up and down. Whoa there, pal. I ain't looking for trouble. He seems nice enough. I use my fist down. So I guess I was right to assume that you're the new kid, right? Mr. Jonathan told me you'd be coming today. Mr. Jonathan? Jonathan Joestar? That's our homeroom teacher. I guess he likes us call him by his first name to appeal to the youth or whatever. The guy shrugs. He's pretty straight-laced, but he's cool. Mr. Jonathan asked me to give you a little tour. Oh yeah. I'm Joestar, by the way. What should I call you? What is my name? What is my name? Sassy-chan! Sassy-chan! Sassy-chan. Sassy-chan. Quick save. Okay. Well, Sassy-chan, let's get going, shall we? Hi. Josuke shows me around. The kids are milling around the hallways and filtering into classrooms, paying us little mind. Everything actually looks pretty ordinary. Huh? Nothing. It's just this place might actually be a little nicer than the school I used to go to. Well, you know what they say. Don't judge a book by its... asshole alert. Wait, what? But before I have time to ask, a guy bounds up to us and wraps his arm around Josuke's neck like the best of buds. But by Josuke's face, I can tell that that's not quite likely the case. Oi, Josuke-chan! Josuke sighs through his nose and doesn't bother to hide his annoyance. I told you not to call me that. The guy pinches Josuke's cheek. And I told you to call me senpai, but you don't. I'll call you senpai. I just realised. I've made a giant mistake. I've called myself Sassy-chan instead of Sassy-san. That's no good. That's no good. And I can't probably change my name now either, so that's a bit... whoopsie doodle. Oh well. I should probably say this in a British accent, even though I am British. And I told you to call me senpai, but you don't. This is what people call a stalemate, Josuke-chan. Josuke huffs and shrugs the guy's arm off him. Shouldn't you be in class? Nah. Josuke scoffs. What do you mean, nah? Class isn't optional. It is when you have bigger fish to fry. I've been quietly watching the exchange the whole time, but the guy's eyes fall on me. Speaking of fish I'd like to fry. Oh my. Oof. Oh. He holds his hand out to me. Oh my. I'm Joseph. Joseph Joestar. Did you just call me a fish? Joseph grins before giving me a lazy wink. Well, if you're a fish, then I'll be the one. Good lord. What the hell is that even supposed to mean? Interpret it as you will. Wait, so you are the person frying the fish, or are you the water? Both. Josuke rolls and rests his hands on his cocked hip. He's cocked. Stop harassing the new kid and just tell us what you want. Joseph straightens up and finally gets to the heart of the matter. Have you seen Caesar around? The bell rings, signalling the class has started. The few last stragglers in the hallway disappear to different doors, leaving 3 of us alone. Joseph didn't seem to be perturbed by the slightest. He's probably in class, you know. Like he's supposed to be. Like you're supposed to be. Joseph sticks his tongue out at Josuke playfully. Don't act like you don't cut class, Joseph-chan. Me and the new kid aren't fooled in the slightest. It's clear that Josuke is about to sputter some response, but the Joseph guy gives a hearty laugh and claps him on the back. I'm sorry, man. Only teasing ya. You make it so easy. We gotta get going, fish guy. Fish? Ha! Well, I guess I had that coming. He gives Josuke one last pat on the back for good measure before giving us a cheery goodbye. As he leaves, he calls back. If he sees Caesar, tell him to meet me by the fountain or he automatically loses the race. The race? But his question only heard by me because Joseph is jogging merrily down the hallway and turning the corner. Well, that guy is... Ikkerundayo! Annoying? Certainly something. Certainly something, I might say. Josuke laughs. Yeah, that's certainly one way to put it. But really, he's not a bad guy. He's just rambunctious? Yeah, that's a good word. He sucks in a deep breath and lets his cheeks puff out before exhaling. So anyways, let's get back to that tour. Josuke's really talkative, giving me people to watch out for, pointers on how to fit in, and other odds and ends of information. He's quick to laugh and has certain charm that makes me feel at ease. Well, that's our humble little school. I guess it's time to go to class now. I don't know, the roof could probably use another looking over, don't you think? Oh yeah, you're right. Looking over. Are you serious? Are you suggesting that we cut class? His eyes are gleaming with mischief. I'll smile back at him. Don't you dare tell Joseph. He'll never let me it down. He'll never let me live it down. It sounded to me like you already knows you're a delinquent who cuts class. Yeah, that's true. You can't do anything without that guy knowing. It's like that bastard has a sixth sense or something. But anyways. Oh, kawaii this. Josuke raises a fist into the air. To the rooftop. As soon as we step foot off the roof, Josuke stretches his arms into the sky and tilts his head up towards the sun. Ah, it feels too good to be out here to be. It feels too good out here to be cooped up in a classroom. The way he's stretching at the sunlight kinda reminds me of a cat. Josuke cat. It's cute. It's kawaii. Hey, Sassy-chan. I should probably say Sassy-san. He motions for me to follow him further onto the roof. Come on, let's get comfortable. He lays down on the ground, wasting no time in stretching out. His eyes are closed and there's a content smile on his face. Only furthering my thoughts of him being like a cat. Aww. I lay down next to him. Wow, I get the appeal of this. The sun really does feel good. I close my eyes and enjoy the sound of the breeze rustling in the trees and the school. When the soft wind reaches us, it smells earthy and fresh. At this rate, I'm going to fall asleep. So what brought you to this school? I killed him? What? I looked over at Josuke with my body feeling lazy and heavy from the sun. By the way, his eyelids were drooping. I can't tell if he's feeling the same way. I killed a man? Josuke grins. Is that so? Yep, I threw that bastard down a storm drain and he drowned. Wow, you're a stone cold killer. You're damn right. The irony of that statement kills me. If only he knew. What secret am I carrying? What are you in for? The same, believe it or not. What a coincidence. Yeah, except it was a bank heist gone wrong. Ah, been there, done that. Definitely not fun. Josuke and I look at each other with serious expressions before breaking into fits of giggles. As we mellow out, I'm struck by how wonderful this scene is. Fat clouds ambling across the blue sky, lungs full of cool air, and skin warm with laughter and sunlight. As we share it all with a pretty boy. Pretty cool boy. I mean pretty cool. Definitely not pretty. Are you sure about that? Okay, so Josuke's pretty. It's certainly not the first time I've thought it, but this school is pretty chill. The people here are a bit eccentric, but they're friendly. I can see myself having a good school year here. With a sleepy groan, Josuke sits up. He runs his hands through the back of his hair, seemingly to make sure it's still in place. We should probably get back here before Mr. Jonathan freaks. I know in my head reluctantly. I could stay up here all day, but Josuke's right. It's Joseph Joestar. Everyone looks at us when we enter the room, as to be expected. The teacher, Mr. Jonathan... No, I'm getting mixed up, aren't I? Like, I'm supposed to love Jojo, but I'm getting mixed up here. That's embarrassing. Because Joseph is the son of Jonathan. Okay. The teacher, Mr. Jonathan, writes on the board and gives us both a funny smile. I think what confuses me is the fact that they're both beginning with J. I don't know. There you are. I was starting to wonder if you two had gotten lost. He looks to me and smiles even brighter. Well, if he keeps this up, I'm going to go blind. You must be Sassy-san. It's great to meet you. Soup. I can see his smile slip slightly, but he seems to take that in stride. He's probably used to informal speech from students after all. Did Joestar give you a good tour? I hope he wasn't too troublesome. We only did a handful of petty crimes. Nothing federal, rest assured. Jonathan shakes his head and Joestar laughs before heading towards his seat. Would you like to introduce yourself to the class, Sassy-san? I very much would not like to do it, but I know it's a rhetorical question. I turned to the class. Hey, plebs. Hey, plebs. Okay, so far so good. I'm excited to be a part of your class, ready to get over the year with, here to crack some schools and learn some shit. Okay, the final statement, I got this. And, that's okay, that's it, I guess. Glare at everyone immediately. I look forward to meeting all of you. I bow politely and there's a bit of a curious chatter around the room. What a lovely introduction, Sassy-san. Jonathan claps his hands together. We've got a few seats available. Choose whichever one you want. I will sit next to Joestar. I don't hesitate. Joestar is my only lifeline in the school and I'm going to take every opportunity I'm given to stick by him. As I make my way towards the seat, I can see Joestar trying to hide a smile. Is he happy that I'm sitting by him? Class here is pretty much the same too. Maybe with the expectation of the teacher, I'm pretty sure used to be a bodybuilder. Or a model. Or both. Even if he is big and pretty, he's still got that teacher charm that makes me zone out and daydream. I wonder what's going to be served for lunch. Something slides across my desk, pulling me from my near dozing. I look over and it's Joestar tapping a pen against his lips innocently, looking all too suspicious with the way he's suddenly absorbed with the lesson. Bitch, just 5 minutes ago you were falling asleep. I can see through your ruse, Joestar. Meet me after class if you want an ass kicking. By ass kicking, if you mean you want to hang out. Awesome sauce. Passing notes is bad! Honestly, I think it's cute that you passed me a note. I don't think my friends and I have done that since elementary school. It makes it seem really sweet. Maybe a little intimate too. Man, like, playing shit like this, I just can't help but smile because the JoJos are perfecto. Or maybe I'm reading this I'm reading this piece of paper way too much. I make up my mind and jot down my answer. Bring it on, motherfucker. But then I hesitate again. Should I sign it with a heart? That might really be straightforward, but it also might make Joestar really happy. My pen is hovering over the paper, the biggest decision in my note-passing career in front of me. Put a heart. Aww. I do a quick flourish, refusing to give myself time backing out of my decision. Aww. My heart is pattering crazy as I read over it. I hope it's not too much. I slide it back to Joestar, keeping my eyes focused on Mr. Jonathan all the while. Joestar doesn't pass anything back to me. After a minute, I look covertly over to him. He's still acting like he's hyper interested in the lesson, but there's an unmistakable blush rending his cheeks. Oh, cute! Oh, look at his face! When class ends, Joestar waits at me by the door. Couldn't have just done this in the first place and not pass a note. It makes me think like he can't wait until after class to ask me. Cute. I hope you're ready for that ass kicking. And by that, I hope that you're thirsty. What do you mean thirsty? Thirsty for what? I'm always thirsty. Fucking whore. Especially when it's something I don't have to pay for. He laughs. I feel that, man. I sit wide edge over the fountain as Joestar goes nearby to the vending machine. Almost everyone has already left. There's a few stragglers here and there, but other than that, we're alone. Oh my. I look at the bottom of the fountain, where a few coins are scattered about. The water makes them look wavering and fat. I let my fingers skim the top of the surface. The water's chilly, but not unpleasant. Why the hell does a school need a fountain? Seems like a waste of money to me. It's still pretty cool though. Sorry to keep you waiting. He holds up 2 cans, 1 grape and 1 apple. My favourite. I point at the great one and he hands it over before sitting down next to me and cracking his open. So, what do you think? Think of what? Josuke takes a sip of his juice before gesturing to the schoolyard. Of the school, now that you've gotten a full day in. I answer him honestly. It's not bad, definitely not what I was expecting. Josuke grins at me. All the new people say that. I guess they think it's going to be all doom and gloom since the problem kids come here, but it's actually really chill. I open my juice and take a sip. It's nice and cold. Damn, this juice is tasty. Does this school get a lot of new kids, or you don't strike me as a problem kid? Problem kid. He looks a little sheepish. Well, I mean, I wouldn't exactly say I'm a problem kid, but I do have a temper of some sorts. I mean, I never guessed that he had a short fuse. You learn something new every day, I guess. So is that why you're here then? Josuke shrugs, turning his juice can in his hands absently. Yeah, I was going to Mario High School, but then I got into a little fight the first day of school. He shrugs again. But this place really isn't bad. I've met a lot of cool people here and stuff. And I mean, he refused to take his eyes off his drink. I wouldn't have met you if I was still going to Mario, so there's that. Oh, that's so cute. I'm too shocked to say anything. I look down at my own juice and I can feel my face heating up. We sit in silence for a while, taking small sips of our drinks and just enjoying each other's company. Josuke hops up from the fountain and nearly stumbles over himself as he takes a few bounds away to distance himself from the fountain. I'm so confused. I look at the fountain, not understanding what he's freaked out so hardcore for. And that's when I see it. Oh no. Oh no. A turtle is on the edge of the round fountain, abbling its way around. I looked at Josuke and his eyes were glued to the little critter, his chest heaving and his expressions are wild. Are you okay? Fuck no, I'm not. Is it looking at me? He walks in a distressed circle with his hands behind his head. The little bastard's looking at me. I set my juice down and stand up, brushing off the seat of my uniform. Pick him up. My instinct is to get rid of the problem, so I set my juice to the side and approach the threat. Josuke's still pacing around, but he's watching my every move like a hawk. I move over to the turtle and pick him up, his head and legs retract into his shell defensively. Oh my god, put it down. I'm moving him. Josuke lets out a distressed noise and paces faster. There's some nearby bushes. I bring the little fellow over to there and set him down gently. He pops almost out immediately and begins slowly scrambling away. I get up with a grunt and turn back to Josuke, showing him my empty hands. Crisis averted. Josuke still looks on edge, but I can see him relax somewhat. We take a seat back down at the fountain again. Josuke is looking around himself. Maybe he thinks that the turtle's going to tell his friends that they're going to come back for revenge? Are you okay? Josuke sighs heavily through his nose before smiling. Yeah, sorry about that. Reptiles kind of creep me out. The understatement of the century. I smile back at him and shrug. You know plant as peanuts? Josuke furrows his brow, obviously confused. Oh shit. Whoops. Yeah. I used to have nightmares about their mascot. To this day, I have to walk a little faster through the snack aisle when I'm at the store. Josuke's eyes widen before he lets out a laugh. Hey, I didn't laugh at your fear. It's not that, He gives me a grin. His blue eyes are soft. Thanks. I shrug and take another sip of my juice, trying to ignore the way my heart's thundering in my chest. We finish our drinks and get up together and throw them away. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Quick save. You can count on it. He gives me a wave and starts down the slope. I stand at the school gates watching him leave. What a cool guy. Oh. School rushes by. Before I know it, I'm sitting in the last class of the day. Science lab looks like the kind I'm used to. The class got divided up into groups and set in front of us a gallon of milk and some vinegar. Who knew it was possible to make plastic out of this stuff? I don't care much for science, but I let my group members conduct the experiment while I just take notes. Everything else goes by swimmingly. There's not much left to... Whoa, be careful with that stuff. I turned into the direction of the panicked yelling in time to witness Joestar stumbling backwards into a bookshelf. I was watching the tragedy of an avalanche bury unfortunate skiers alive. Joestar toppled to the ground early to find himself pelted with what looked like sciencey books, with whatever sciencey books were above. I hop off my seat, ready to help him out. Everyone else clings to their beakers and microwavable containers. Miss Lisa just lifts her head from whatever teaching she's doing. I can hear Joestar groaning under the pile of books. Joestar, are you okay? Not at all. I picked the books off him one by one, finding his face in somewhat text dedicated to the research of electrical conductivity inserted beetles. Conductivity. Higashitaka! Stay after class and clean up that mess. What? Why? It was an accident. You made that mess, didn't you? Accident or not. And while you're here, take over cleaning duty. Yes, sensei. Joestar pouts, and I almost want to laugh. Adorable. I'll stay and help. I look from Miss Lisa to Joestar. Wait, really? Yeah, I mean, you want to deal with this by yourself? Joestar shakes his head and nearly jumps back up on his feet. Hell no. Your help would be great. Higashikata. Sorry, I can't read. I really can't read. Joestar's shoulders are tense. Language. He nods and bows his head towards her. Yes, sensei. Anyway, do whatever you want as long as if that mess gets cleaned up. Lucky for you, it's not like those books are arranged in any sort of order. I look at Joestar with a smile. He smiles back in time to pout again when Miss Lisa tells the whole class to start wrapping up the plastic milk experiment. The last bit of the day is just wrong, and I'm alone with Joestar rearranging the bookshelf. Man, this bites. If that guy in my group wasn't so reckless with the milk, it would have almost splashed on me and I wouldn't have bumped into the stupid thing. He kicks at the shelf lightly. I worry for a second that it'll come down on him. So it didn't get on you? No, but it almost did. Anyway, thanks again for staying with me. I look up to respond, but we also catch each other's eyes as we reach for the same book. Our hands almost brush against each other, and I realise just how close we are. Joestar scares at me? Joestar stares at me, full lips slightly parted as if he was going to say something. I feel my throat going dry, panic swelling in my chest. What the hell? You need to stay back, your team. I can't move. His eyes catch me off guard with how gorgeous they are. I don't even feel like I'm looking at another person. You're pretty. The sound of his voice is too close and it shakes me back into reality. His words linger over my consciousness and I feel the heat smouldering in my chest. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? My eyes go wide and I'm not staring at his lips. I'm now staring at his lips. He seems to be aware and consciously darts his tongue to lick them nervously. I swallow the lump in my throat. I have to say something or do something. This is already weird, and I'm making it weirder just by staring at those beautiful eyes and kissable lips. Oh my. Flirt with him. What's cooking yourself good looking? Oh god. What the hell did I just say? Did I just say that? I feel my face light up. I mean, Joestar stifles and laugh, and I take the cue. I shake my head with a sheepish smile. Ignore that. I don't know what I was saying. No, it's okay. I didn't mean to, scare you. Wait, what? I wasn't scared. Just flustered, embarrassed, flattered. Surprised that you're that bold. It was Joestar's turn to feel a bit hot under the collar. Well, He clears his throat. It's not like you're ugly. I snort into a fit of laughter and jokingly threaten to throw a book at him. I hope not, but still, thanks. We share a brief exchange of smiles and continue to clean up. My heart is determined to expose me with its loud instant beating. Insistent beating, but I really don't care. It's hard with the butterflies and warm swelling inside of me. I then hear the distress and look over towards Josuke. What's wrong? Nothing. I'm just getting late and with my mum is gonna chew me out when I get home. This is the first time Josuke's brought up his family. I'm curious, but should I pry? How upset would she get? I almost regret asking the question as soon as it left my mouth. It's not really my business, is it? But Josuke didn't look upset or seem reluctant to answer. He shrugs and approaches the broom closet. Not enough to knock some sense into me, but I won't reach my room without a good nagging, that's for sure. He pulls out the broom and starts sweeping. Her nagging can't be that bad, can it? I put away the last few books, making sure that they're as neat as can be. When satisfied, I start tending to the lab stools. Well, she is my mum. I couldn't handle it. Heh. If you say so. I smile to myself, enjoying that comfortable atmosphere between us. I wish moments like these with Josuke will happen a lot more. What about your dad? Would he be upset or worried about you getting home late? You shouldn't be asking that. There's a shift at the end that makes me look up at him. Josuke is still standing and staring down at the floor in deep thought. Josuke? I don't have a dad. Oh, shit. Well, more like I don't know him. Mum doesn't like to talk about him too much either, so... Well, yes, no wonder. He shrugs and continues to sweep. The most I know is that she met him during her really early years in college. I don't know what to say. What can I say? I'm sorry, I didn't know. Oh, no, I know. You don't have to feel bad about asking. You really didn't know. I go up and slowly start arranging the stools again. It's just, he talks as we work, and I make every effort to keep listening to him. It's just one of those things you get picked up on when you're a kid, you know? And people always think that it's something that they should give you pity for. Josuke sighs sharply, and I begin to notice the weight on his shoulders. It must really be something though, spending a lot of time thinking about it. Anyway, I've always felt like meeting him one day. He kind of owes me a lot. I take a few seconds to process what he's telling me. The look on his face makes it obvious that he's bothered. I really should say something. I'll help. Josuke looks at me and smiles back. It seems like the whole business with his father is important to him. It's the least I can do for a friend. Offer my help. Friend with benefits? You're such a sap. He shakes his head and looks back at the floor in an attempt to hide his smile. Thanks though, it means a lot. No problem, us delinquents have got to look out for each other after all. We both carry out our jobs, the smiles on our faces don't waver one bit, and somehow I feel closer to Josuke with these few exchanges of words. Let's take a drink. Gotta love iron brew. I don't even notice that we only have trash left to deal with. Let's both take care of this. He grabs the bin and motions towards the door. I peer into the trash can and I see a few crumpled papers. I can see why you need help. Are you sure you can lift that all by yourself? Josuke scoffs and pretends to struggle with lifting the trash. Yeah man, my tiny weak arms, I just can't take it. He lets out a fake cry of pain and I laugh. The dumpsters come into view and we head straight for them. I love the fact that there's like all these references. I love it. And the JoJo and the breakdown graffiti is just so awesome. Oh, sorry. Okay. So how was your second day here? Well, as good as it can be. You make it better though. Josuke laughs nervously and squares his shoulders. I'm flattered that my presence matters. It's true. What should I do without you? My night in a... I keep pressing that damn thing. I gesture vaguely at him. Cotton armor? I put a hand on my face dramatically and bat my eyelashes at him. I can see the impulse to flex his biceps flash across his face, but Jessica commits to holding the garbage. We share a quick flash before stepping up to the dumpsters. I take a bin from him with a grin. Allow me, you carried it over here. He gives up without protest and I dump the contents. With the bin now empty, we turn back towards the main building. But when I take a step, my uniform gets snagged to the dumpster. As I'm falling, I reach to grab for something, anything, to stop myself from hitting the ground. I should probably save. Okay. Whoa. I was expecting that to say I grabbed a fistful of Josuke's. I grab a fistful of Josuke's sleeve. He's quick to respond. Something out to stop me from landing on the concrete. Yo. His arm snakes around my waist as he pulls me close. He somehow manages to hold me upright and tight against his chest. Oh. My eyes are still wide from the initial panic, and all I can see is that damn blue again. I swallow the lump in my throat, and I feel the heavy heat. I feel the heat crawl up my neck. Thank you. What are you students doing? We jump apart. The rosy atmosphere between us is just dissipating in an instant. Oh shit, someone. Principal Dio. Principal Dio, what the fuck? I can't. You look so innocent as well, oh my god. What the hell? Oh, Jesus. Oh shit, it's the principal. He looks over at us critically. One of his manicured eyebrows raised. Care to explain what you two are sharing a gently embrace behind the building for after school hours? Oh, why? I fell. And I caught Sassy-san, so I wouldn't fall. That's all there is, to be honest. Our story is rushed and defensive, making it seem fake as a politician's The principal doesn't seem to buy it. His lips are pursed and his eyes are flat. Well, whatever you're doing, it better not happen again. Or you two children can share sweet nothings in detention. I can feel the heat rising up my cheeks. Juski's in the same boat at least. Sorry, Principal Dio. He picks up the trash bin, his head down. Let's go, Sassy-san. I bow my head to Dio and following Josuke back inside the school. Oh my god. I can feel the principal's eyes boring into my back the whole time. We look around the classroom, making sure everything's in order. Well, it's obvious we both were still reeling from the accidental inmate scene we shared. I guess I'll go bring the key to the staff room. Yeah. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. You betcha. We both part ways. When Josuke's out of sight, I stop to give myself a moment to process everything. What the hell? What would have happened if the principal hadn't shown up? My heart kicks into high gear at the thought. It's way too easy for me to recall the feeling of Josuke's arms around my waist, the warm broadness of his chest, and the smell of cheap cologne and hairspray. A smell I wanted to get lost in again. Oh, heck. Caesar! I mean, you can argue all you want, but it's pretty obvious. Just lazy writing. Well, you can argue all you want, but it all boils down to the fact that you're too lazy to use your imagination. Or they talked the suitcase up too much. They couldn't think of anything else satisfying to reveal because it could never be as fantastical as they built it up to be. And that is why they left it up to the viewer, because their imagination can come up with what the individual would find most fantastical, and thus making it satisfying to everyone. They've been at that all morning. The three of us usually chat before class, and it almost turns to light-hearted arguments like this. Joseph looks to me, obviously annoyed back and forth at their discussion. What do you think, Sassy-san? By what do you think he means, please decide who is in the right. Oh, jeez. Why don't we settle this over a royale with cheese. Joseph grin widens. Ah, that's such a cop-out. But it's an acceptable answer. You're off the hook this time. Caesar opens his mouth, obviously about to launch right back into the debate. Josuke walks into the classroom right then, saving me from any more of the debate. Joseph seems to perk me up and whips his head around before turning back with me a wink. Oh my. Come on, Caesar-chan. Let's give these lovebirds some privacy. Lovebird. My face is flushed when Josuke plops his back down in the seat and turns towards me. What was that about? Nothing. He called us lovebirds, or just Joseph being lovebirds. Oh. Seeing him blush only makes me blush harder. Josuke shoots a look over at Joseph, who is watching us from a desk across the room. Josuke flips him the bird, and Josuke catches it before pulling it against his heart and batting his eyes. What an asshole. Mr. Jonathan walks in and the chatter in the classroom dies down. He takes attendance, but I can't help notice he's in a really good mood. Well, maybe not the best way to put it, since good seems to be his permanent state of mood. He seems excited about something. Mr. Jonathan rushes in this morning's announcements before taking a deep breath and beaming at the class. Last but certainly not least to discuss is... He pauses dramatically. The class field trip. The students erupt in excited chatter and Mr. Jonathan waits a few before speaking again. This year we'll be going to the beach. Man, could we go to the beach as a trip? We never got to do anything like that. Not as if it matters anyway, because I'm not in school anymore. More excited chatter. I can't lie, I'm pretty pumped too. Jonathan starts going over the details of the trip, and I turn to Josuke to share my delight. Why does he look so downcast? But keep that in mind, if your grades don't look good. His cheeriness has subsided into a serious tone. Ooh, their face. Then your chances of participating aren't going to look good. Oh. Jonathan wraps up the announcements and plunges right into this morning's lesson. My good mood at the news of the class trip is soured. I really don't want to go if Josuke has to stay behind. Just how bad are his grades? When the lunch bell rings, Josuke doesn't jump up from his desk like usual. Instead, he gets up like an inmate going through the electric chair. Hey, Josuke. Yeah? Your fly's down about the class trip. Oh, why so... Your fly's down. He looks down in alarm, only to see I was lying. Ha, gotcha. He gives a stiff smile. You sure did. I gave him a nice set of finger guns. Finger guns? Whatever's got you down doesn't stand a chance against my humour. Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm at the very least. Still, the thought of everyone going to the beach and having fun whilst I'm stuck here isn't a nice one. My finger guns curl up before I drop them all together. Yeah, I could see how much that would suck. Yeah, it sucks big time. Well, there's only one thing we can do about this situation. Change your grade, stay behind and help study. Help him study? What? He seems flabbergasted at my suggestion. I couldn't ask you to do something like that. This is my fault. You didn't do anything wrong. I really don't mind. I mean, I don't want to go if you aren't. Might as well get a good study session in. Man, that's really sweet. You're damn right it's sweet. Are you sure? Of course. Thanks, Sassy-san. That means a lot to me. I shrug because I don't know what else to do. Let's go get lunch then. I'm starving. Josuke looks his normal self as he rubs his hands together. Hell yeah. Studying is definitely not my thing. Savage Garden Queen. Breakdown. Crazy Diamond. Oh, I love it. Okay. I stretched out on Josuke's bed, checking all the cool posters on his wall as he sits at a small table in the middle of the room, a dozen books open in front of him. Every once in a while, he mumbled to himself and just jotted down something in his notebook. It's not as exciting as going to the beach, but I enjoy spending time with Josuke. I could try studying too, but staring at the wall and listening to Josuke study is far more appealing. Ugh. He stands up and jogs in a pace for a few seconds. A study technique that I've used countless of times when drowsiness threatens to take me. Studying sucks. Hell yeah, it does. Josuke stretches before having a sigh. I'm happy that I have some company though. It makes it less like a death sentence. Just consider me your personal cheerleader. 2468. Whose grade will be great? Joe Skates! Joe Skates! Yay! We both raise our arms and perform some magnificent spirit fingers. Just a little more to go, Josuke. Push through. Hell yeah. He plops down at the table and gets to work with more fervour than before. As the day wears on, I opt to sit next to Josuke. Oh, look at him. He looks so cute. Okay. I'm on my best behaviour and don't bother him while he works. I'm like slowly looking around the room to see if I can find any other like exciting things to look at, but I can't really see anything. But oh well. He's so absorbed with his studying that he doesn't notice me watching him. Josuke's a really pretty guy. His brow furrows as he chews the tip of his pen as he reads over a passage. I smile. I can't believe that I've had the chance to become best friends with such a great guy. Thanks for being my friend. Huh? It didn't necessarily mean that out loud, but it doesn't really matter. I want him to know how damn grateful I am for the past few months. You heard me, punk. What's with that sappy shit? Damn, let a bitch be sappy sometimes. He laughs and shakes his head. Well, however happy you are to be my friend, multiply that by 1,000. That's how I am happy to be your friend. Wow, who's the sappy one now? I never claimed I wasn't. Touche. Josuke yawns and rolls his shoulders tiredly. I'm so done with studying. What do you say we play some video games? That's the best suggestion I've ever heard. Get ready to get your ass kicked at Mario Kart. Bring it on. Neutral end. Gaming bros. Neutral end? Neutral end. There is a neutral end. Okay. So what ends are there? I must look. I must look at these ends. They must be... Okay, so they're all the images I have. Let's put it, because that's just cute. Okay. I need to look at these endings. Let's go on Google. Okay. I need to see these endings. What endings are there? So is there not like a thing saying what ending there is? See, I would have assumed there would have been one where like... No, because it's saying about... See, I would have thought that you would have had like a romantic one because you were flirting and shit, but I don't think so. Let's have a look here. It just says what... See, I'm on the website, Team Scallywag for Joestar Struck. And someone by the name of Kiwi Key says, I think I did all the routes. Jotaro, Josuke, Jonathan, Joseph, Dio, Bad End, and Kira Bad End. But... okay, why is everyone so obsessed with Dio giving them the sock? I want Jonathan to give me the sock. Okay. I honestly thought there was going to be like some really sweet endings, but it doesn't look like it is. Okay. Let's get on with some other endings. If I can. How do I go back? Return, okay. Okay. Let's perhaps play this again. Turn the music down a little bit. Skip unseen text. After choices. Return. Radio. So there's one way it goes to the beach. Right. Let's try this again. We've obviously seen these parts where we just come up to a... yes, there's Josuke. Hello, Josuke. Okay, stop flying with me. What is my name? Okay. Let's put down the proper name this time. There we go. So, we've seen that. Introduce myself. I put my hands out to meet his. Wow, his hands are big. I'm Sazi-san, nice to meet you. Oh ho ho, so polite. Instead of shaking my hand, he grabs it and he leans his head down. Wait, holy shit, is he gonna... He brushes a soft kiss to my knuckles before grinning at me. Oh. The pleasure is all mine. Josuke sighs, obviously used to Joseph's antics. Stop harassing the new kid and just tell us what you want. Joseph straightens up and finally gets to the heart of the matter. Have you seen Caesar around? Yes, we've seen Caesar. What does Caesar look like? How does one explain what the person who is Caesar Zippoli? Josuke rolls his eyes. Let's see, picture me. I'm about 30% less sexy and a lot more blonde. What a jackass. His ego is bigger than his body. We haven't seen him. Well, damn, that bastard knows we have a date at the fountain this morning. Oh, you guys are finally dating? What do you mean, finally? The stud is flying solo. He winks at me. Oh. That's until this stud finds a right little fishy. I make a weird face because Joseph breaks out into a gale of laughter. When he calms down, he points at Josuke. Caesar-chan and I have a race. Loser has to buy lunch. But the yellow belly is taking his dear sweet time. At this rate, my racer isn't going to be in peak physical condition. So it's not you two who are racing? Then who? Joseph puts a finger onto his lips. Best not to ask questions. Well, anyways, I gotta track down that Italian bastard. See ya. Well, that guy is certainly something. Okay, we need to skip this. Let's go to class. Everyone looks at us when we enter the room as to be expected. The teacher, Mr. Jonathan, sorry. God damn it, go back. That was a freak accident. Sorry. Everyone looks at us when we enter the room as to be expected. The teacher, Mr. Jonathan, stops writing on the board to give us both a sunny smile. There you are. I was starting to wonder where you two had gotten lost. He looks up to me and smiles even brighter. Wow, if he keeps this up, I'm gonna go blind. Okay, we've seen this part. Nice to meet you. What a positive attitude. I appreciate that. Did Josuke give you a good tour? I hope he wasn't too troublesome. Yeah, we've seen this. Hi, I'm Sazi-san. Okay, so far so good. I'm excited to be a part of your class. Okay, the final statement. Glare at everyone. Well, I guess it's going to be expected for a little Pt.1 delinquent, so it is. Okay. Okay, then. Jonathan claps his hands together. We've got a few seats available. Which ones do you want? Okay, so I'll sat next to Jonathan, so it's either front, back, or farthest left. I'll try bottom. Any student would agree with the back of the class is a sweet spot of seats, so my choice is a no-brainer. I'll hike my backpack on my shoulder and make the beeline to the back of the room. As I situate myself, Mr. Jonathan launches back into his session. Within minutes, I fall back into the normal school routine of taking notes and zoning out. Seems that school is going the same anywhere you go, really. When the class ends, Joestar is the first one to grab his bag and leave. I shrug to myself and grab my own bag. Sazy-san, would you mind staying at the back for a minute or two? Okay. Quick save, please. Again, another request that I have to fulfill even if you don't want to. Even if I don't want to. Teachers have too much power. Sure. I hang back as the class filters out. Even when the last student leaves, I'm completely alone with Mr. Jonathan. I can't help but notice again how freaking big he is. Big? He could break me like a damn toothpick if he wanted to. But he smells like that. I can't imagine him hurting a fly. How was your first day? Is this really what he wanted to talk to me about? That's kind of sweet, actually. School's well, school. I think I could get... I liked it. Oh, before I forget. He goes on his desk and grabs a neatly stacked packet of papers. You live close to one of your fellow classmates. He held up the papers to me. You didn't come to class today, so I thought you could drop these off on your way home. It'd be a great way for you to meet at last of our little class. I take the packet from him and I look over the first page. It was the stuff we went over in class today. Sure, that shouldn't be a problem. Jonathan smiles at me. Thank you, Sazy-san. He leans forward a little bit. And thank you for joining our class. I know things are a little different at Gyuniku Academy, but I know you're going to do great. I leave quickly, a light blush creeping to my cheeks. With a packet of homework Mr. Jonathan gave me, I followed the directions to Jotaro's house. He lives on the same street as me, so it shouldn't take long. As I look for the house number scribbled in the post-it note, my gut clenches in anxiety. What I've heard about Jotaro comes to mind and I gulp. He can't be that bad, I'm sure. What I was told was just an exaggeration or something. I'm sure he seems to have a reputation at school made for delinquent punks, but how bad can it be? I mean, I go to that school and it's not like I deserve... Oh. I found it. It's only a handful of houses away from mine. I double check the house number to make sure it's correct before stepping up to the front door. Letting out a deep breath, I press the doorbell. It's quiet. I can't hear any footsteps from the inside, or at least a voice reassuring me someone is on their way to answer. I ring the doorbell again. It's still quiet. Maybe no one's at home? I lean back and check the driveway. But as I do so, the door clicks as if it's being locked. I stand up straight to greet who's answered, to find myself face to face with the broodiest mug I've ever seen. Ugh. My words fail me. Is this Jotaro? This tall, beefy mofo stares at me as if I was hoping that I evaporate where I stand. I open my mouth to speak, but I don't know where to begin. Hey, handsome. Feeling lonely in this big old house? Oh my. Whack-ass school or classmate. Handsome. Hey, handsome. Feeling lonely in this big old house? Want some company? I'm the new kid at your school and I wouldn't mind a new friend. That just sounds creepy. I hold my breath and watch Jotaro's glare darken. He hates me already. Relax, I was joking. What the hell do you want? He spoke in a near snarl, and I momentarily considered just dropping the homework on the welcome mat and booking it out of there. Homework! I held up the packet. Mr. Jonathan asked me to drop it off. I live down the street, so... He takes the paper out of my hands as I trail off. I'm Sazy-san, by the way. Whatever. I watched Jotaro flip through the papers. That was really all I needed to do. I guess I could just excuse myself and go home, but... You are Jotaro, right? He looks back at me as if to confirm. It really is nice to meet you, Jotaro. I'll see you. He shuts the door in my face without a word. Around? I scoff under my breath. Asshole. But it only means my little task is done. I turn around and leave the property and head straight toward my house to conclude the day. At least he didn't call me a bitch. Where the hell's the snooze button? There it is. Alright, I'm up. I sit up tiredly and look at my clock. The little glowing numbers all tell me it's still pretty early. I had to set it early with the intentions of getting to school before everyone else and maybe talking with Mr. Jonathan a bit more. But now that's actually time to put an effort into the idea, I'm not too sure. The snooze button is already looking like a damn temptress. Snooze or get up. Snooze. I cave into my sleepy desires and smack the snooze button. Ah, my bed's so toasty. This morning started as per usual. I get dressed, ate breakfast, and walk out the door with time to spare. Time for my second day at Gyundiku Academy. I considered picking up the pace to avoid the inevitable crowd at the school gates, but then I found myself standing in front of Jotaro's house. My eyes go to the front door, to the curtained windows, and out towards the street leaving the school. I took in a contemplative breath whilst going back to our interaction the day before. He definitely thinks I'm weird. I could make up for it and invite him to walk to school. But would he even go? I was told he frequently ditches. What if he's not even home? I shift on my feet, urging myself to make a decision. Invite him. I gather my nerve and approach the front door. I only ring the doorbell once. Just once. If he doesn't answer, then he's either out or still asleep. And if he's still asleep, then I'd just be a jerk if I woke him up with a doorbell. I've taken a deep breath and pressed the button. I hear the chime from the inside and steel myself where I stand. Damn, that sounded louder than before. A countdown starts in my head as I stare at where the door meets the door frame. Before my anxiety significantly builds, I hear the same click at the front door of the lock. Jotaro cracks open the door and looks at me. Silent as ever. And it's making me nervous. Good morning. I give a slight bow and greeting. I was thinking, my eyes seem to focus on everything but his face. You want to go to school together? In an attempt to be polite, I try to smile. But it feels like I'm just giving away how uncool he's making me feel. Jotaro doesn't even seem to react. I mean, if you're even going today. I try to save myself before giving a real chance. Jotaro starts to close the door. No. The door clicks and I'm left in the same spot as yesterday. Maybe I'd be lying if I said I wasn't expecting this. I turn around to continue to walk to school by myself. I didn't even take more than 10 steps when I heard the banging of a door closing behind me and the voice of a younger kid calling out to someone. You're gonna get into trouble if you skip too many days, stupid. Make sure you go sometime this week. Oh, look who it is. I turn around, curiosity getting the better of me, and see some girl wearing the local middle school uniform leaving Jotaro's house. Her hair styled into twin buns with her bangs dyed pink. They have a middle school for delinquents too? The expression on her face reminds me of Jotaro's, an edgy broodiness, but with a girlish twist. A sister? Or daughter? The latter wasn't entirely impossible. I was walking to avoid coming across as suspicious as she passes me in no time. As unlikely as it seems, I wonder if following the whole story behind this girl and Jotaro. Probably not. The next morning I start my walk to school. Sure, it's been taking some adjusting to this place, but I can still say that I like it. I muse over the past few days when I reach Jotaro's house. My steps start to falter when someone comes out the front door. It's the same middle schooler I saw last time. Her twin buns wrapped on top of her head and below those dyed bangs a scowl, reminiscent of Jotaro's. Say hi. Good morning. I call out to her and she stops to look at me. Her eyes are as pierced as Joestar's and it rips nervous smile out of me. Hey. She continues walking. I'm losing her. I quicken my pace to walk beside her. Are you, well, a relative of Joestar's? Quick and straight to the point. What could go wrong? She glances at me almost accusingly. You're not even going to ask me for my first name, and you're just dishing out all of these questions about my personal life? Well, damn. I look back at her with a non-existent comeback stuck in my throat. Relax. She's just a kid. Gotta set an example for the future generation. My bad, you're right. I'm Sassy-san, and you are? Jolene. I catch the satisfied smirk as she tries to hide. It's nice to meet you, Jolene. She shrugs and keeps her eyes on the sidewalk we share. I guess. We both fall quiet, just the sound of our shoes against the pavement filling the chilly morning air. This certainly wasn't how I planned my morning to go. If anything, I expected to be walking alone and anticipating the wild shit that will inevitably go down once I arrive at Guniku. Wasn't there something you wanted to ask me? Oh yeah. I look at Jolene with somewhat of a smile. Gotta set that example. Right, I just wanted to know if you're a relative of Joestar's. I noticed that you came out of his house. I'm his sister. Oh. Oh, he has a sister? Talk about unexpected. What kind of world is this? It's his daughter, damn it. Pff, it's not like that ever happens to anyone. Right, it's just weird. I mean, considering Joestar, you're weird. That's fair. Sure, you shouldn't generalize, but damn. Kids these days. I probably shouldn't even be talking. I don't really know him. So, you're not one of his friends? Nah, he doesn't even have any friends. Jolene is quiet for a moment. You know, I'm not really sure. You're his own sister and you don't even know if he has friends? I shake my head and my tongue. The girl huffed defensively. She looks pissed. It's not like I know everything about him. He always keeps it to himself. What do you know then? He has this hat. A hat? He always wears it. Wouldn't be surprised if he was born with the ugly thing and it fused to his skull. Now that I know about it, he was wearing the hat at the times I saw him. That's weird. I nodded in response. As we round the corner, we reached the intersection that branches our path. Jolene was due to turn left to reach the middle school whilst I needed to turn right. Guess I'll see you around, weirdo. I force a smile and wave off, then continue my walk to the academy. I walked past the school gates among fellow students and I headed the building to get to class. Another day, another bizarre adventure. The walk home was quiet and peaceful. It's a nice change of scenery to get away from the chaos of Guniku. Quick save. I turn the street corner to enter my neighbourhood and that's when I see her. Joestar's sister. Shit. What's her name? I stare at the back of her head as if trying to channel my hidden and unknown psychic abilities. Nothing. But that's when I see it. The name tag on her bag. I quicken my step to get a bit closer so I can read it. Jolene Kujo. She turns around. Ah, shit. Hey. Jolene, right? She gives me a quizzical look before nodding. You're the one who gave my brother that homework, right? I recognize you from where you dropped it off. You saw me? Jolene turns to nod to keep walking and motions for me to follow. I almost trip over my own feet as I catch up to her. Oh yeah, I was. Is he done with it? Yeah, actually, you need it back? You can come to my house right now and pick it up. Sure, I'll turn it in for him. Should turn it in for him. He's done with the whole thing. Yeah, I know, he probably doesn't seem like it, but he's pretty good at school. He just hates going to class. Relatable. We approach the front door of the Kujo house and Jolene reaches into her bag for house keys. My brother is home, but he's probably asleep, so just hang out in the living room and I'll get him for you. Right. I step in after her, my heart having the audacity to skip a beat. What's the big deal? I'm just here to pick up some homework. Sorry about the mess, we're both not the tiniest of people. No, Mum? I probably shouldn't ask. She gestures down at the hallway. Joestar's room is in front. Follow me. I'm appalled there is not a shit ton of pictures of dolphins right now. Apart from the little one up on the bookcase. She opens his bedroom door without knocking or anything. Part of me has a little heart attack. He's a teenage boy after all. Oh, he's not here. He's not here. Yeah, I see that. Hang tight for a sec, he's probably outside. She leaves me standing in the doorway of Jotaro's room. Well, I gotta say I'm a little shocked by the stuff I'm seeing. It seems so normal. I pause for a moment to take it in. Everything is blue for some reason. It makes sense. There's some rack of hats hanging over his bed and I can't hold back at the smile that finds it around my face. So many hats. I've only seen him wearing one of them, but somehow it makes sense he'd have a whole collection. I see a lot of the books he owns has to do with the ocean. Huh. Guess that's his thing. Once again, another unexpected thing about this guy is that's throwing me in for a loop. I sigh, accepting the fact that I probably have this guy pegged all wrong. Of course, I've only met Joestar once for a brief time to boot, but certainly I wouldn't have guessed his room to look like this. I attentively sit on the edge of his bed as I look around, not daring to touch anything. I feel incredibly out of place. I just keep thinking back to Jotaro's scowl. Is he going to be mad at me that I'm here? My question is answered almost indefinitely as the bedroom door opens. I hop up from the bed. My chest is tightening in panic. Oh, you look pissed. What the hell are you? Homework. Your sister said that you were done with it. He steps closer to me and that's when I can smell the cigarette smoke clinging to him. You need it? Well, I can turn it in for you if you're not going to come to class anytime soon. I offer a smile, insisting that I don't mean any harm. He seems to understand where I'm coming from. But before he can say anything else, Jolene pops in the doorway. I can't find him. Oh, there you are. You should let strangers into the house. Whatever, just hand over your homework. I have my own to do. She makes a face and grabs her bag before going into the hallway. Also, you stink. Take a shower. Her voice echoes through the hall as I try to hold in a laugh. She's not wrong. I look back to Jotaro expectantly. I'll be more than happy to get out of your way, buddy. Let's just try and figure out this homework situation. He seems to read my mind. Jotaro moves to the shelf on his desk to look for the face that he's telling me it. I really apologise if I'm struggling to talk tonight. Jotaro moves from the shelf to his desk to look. The look on his face telling me he's irritated. Sorry, my guy. I know this is something most of us will consider a waste of time. I try to keep my stare off him and on the floor, lest I can catch his gaze and he finds me even weirder for watching him. But the silence is heavy. I twiddle my thumbs and rock on my heels. The house is quiet, save for some fake music coming from what I can only guess is Jolene's room. Make light conversation. I have to be careful what I say. This guy seems to be like a ticking time bomb. One wrong move and he'll explode. Will I ever see you at school? So is it just you and your sister? Or I take it you like oceanology? More or less. He speaks up quickly, casting a look back to his bookshelf. Specifically marine biology. There's a difference. Really? It kind of all seems the same to me. Honestly. They both deal with ocean things, right? I can see Jotaro's give off as a sigh. As he turns around, its expression suddenly serious but not frightening. Oceanology deals with the ocean itself, the water. He holds a finger up to his point. I kind of feel like a kid taught me right from wrong. But marine biology is about ocean life. So, you like fish?
No, I like the dolphins.
He hesitates as he figures out how to answer me. Yes. Jotaro turns his back to me again to continue hunting down his homework. Do you have an interest in marine biology too? I can't see his face, so it isn't hard to tell me what he's thinking, but the first thing he's really asked me... anything, isn't it? I guess so. The ocean is pretty magical and mysterious at the same time. One of the Earth's natural beauties, yeah? I mean, what kid hasn't gone through an obsessive shark phase? With the conversation seemingly at an end, I let myself relax. Yeah, this guy is intimidating as fuck. But he's just a regular person like the rest of us, isn't he? Here it is. He holds up the packet of homework and steps up to me. The first paper has some worn edges, but it's all filled out. I take it and flip through and double check its completion. Thanks, I'll hand it over to Mr. Jonathan right away. Thanks. As soon as he said it, he heads out into the hallway, leaving me alone in his room again. Okay then. I wait a few seconds, but he doesn't come back. What am I supposed to do now? I wait for a little bit before heading out into the hallway. He's not here either. Alright then. My feet carry me to the nearby wall with pictures hanging off it. I lean closer to get a better look. There's a young Jolene with the same kind of hairstyle. A younger Joestar who's smiling? That's kind of hard to imagine now. I scoff at the thought. I still don't think I'd pass it up the opportunity to see that. It would be compared to witnessing a cryptid with my own two eyes. But I'm sure no one will believe me. Hell, I don't think anyone would believe me if I told them to think that I somewhat befriended his kid sister. I actually went into Joestar's house and pocketed around for the sake of my own curiosity. I pause and momentarily consider leaving. Joestar seems to be the type who would wring my neck if he caught me snooping around his house. But at the same time, it's not like I know the guy enough to say that for sure. I shrugged myself and moved to the next thing that caught my eye until I end up finding the kitchen. I ended to put my head in briefly, taking a note of the fruit basket on the counter. I'd be lying if I said that family portraits and unripe fruit was exactly what I was hoping to find whilst trapezing around Joestar's house unattended. I look at the doors in the hallway. To my left there was a door. The door had a gaudy sign hanging on it saying Jolene, painted on it with bright colours on the sign, and I can hear music from underneath the door. The other side was Joestar's door, and it also had a sign. I tiptoe closer until I read what's on the placard, and I almost laugh. Joestar's name is painted on this one. It's less embellished as Jolene for a moment, but I consider the possibility that maybe she was the one who made it for him. Probably when she was even younger. It doesn't seem like she'd do anything like that now. I make my way deeper into the hallway, and there was another door. This one had no decoration on it, but I could hear the sound of water running from the other side. It's gotta be the bathroom. Wait. If Jolene is in her room doing homework, and the two of them live alone... Oh. I guess Joestar took Jolene's shower comment to heart. But really though, did he just have to hop in the shower without saying bye to me or showing me out? I guess I can't hold it against him too much. The guy seems pretty socially challenged. With a blush in my cheeks, I decide that it's probably time for me to leave. Or you could open the bathroom door and be a pervert. I make a hasty exit. With all said and done, I make my way home. For a brief second, I found myself wondering if Joestar was actually going to show up for class one day. If he never does, then they'll definitely expel him. And if he's expelled, well, guess I'll never really see him again. It'd be a shame, but that's what it is, right? Ugh. Ugh. Part of me wants to take note from Joestar's delinquent book and just not go to school today. I sit up with a sigh. It's time to get ready, I guess. On my way to school, I pass Joestar's place. I can see that their living room light is on. I bounce on my heels, debating whether or not I should invite Joestar to class and risk annoying him. The curtains are pulled open, so I can see a bit of movement. I peek through the window, common decency be damned, and I see... Wait. Is that... That wasn't what I was expecting. Then again, I didn't know what I was expecting. Jolene is sitting on the floor with Joestar behind her, hands in the air as he delicately styles it. They seem to be talking. About what? Hell if I know. But it all seems like such a natural interaction. It brings me to mind the possibility of Joestar doing this for her every day. That's so sweet. The thought warms my heart. But it's so unlike the image of Joestar that I've held on for so long. This rugged, secretive, bitch-faced delinquent carefully styling the hair of his little sister. I wonder if he was the one who dyed her hair for her too, or at least had tucked to the salon to get it paid to get it done. I realise that the other times I've seen them together, this moment is when they seem the most close. But maybe they're always this close. Or is this the only thing they can do together out of all the other interests or hobbies? Not that styling hair fits Joestar, because it really doesn't. But seeing that something he probably picked up to do for Jolene definitely sheds a new light on the guy. I finally back up, not wanting to get caught and go to the front door. And smiling, I can't stop it, but I press the doorbell anyway. For a moment, I wonder who's going to answer. But before any more thoughts of the question, the door opens and Jolene's standing in the doorway. I'm about to greet her when I notice one of her buns on her head, the rest of her hair down and styled. Ah, gee, I could have waited a bit for Joestar to finish up her hair. Joestar, your friend's here. She hollers out before I say anything to her and she disappears back inside. Don't worry, I'll do the rest myself. I hear her talk to her brother from the inside and soon I'm looking up to Joestar Cujo himself. Joestar looks at me with any hint of softness I saw minutes before he had turned hard and sharp. I guess I can't really expect much from the guy. What are you doing here? School. I'm smiling too much, making it obvious that I found some sort of secret. Well, just wondering if you're going to come today. He doesn't react at first, but he might as well scoffed or rolled his eyes. Dunno. Well, it's not a hard no. Maybe there's hope. So if you do go, it'll probably just be on a whim. Probably. Such a man of little words. Then again, I suppose I should be grateful for the handful he's given me so far. Well, I guess I'll just go. I was going to ask if you wanted to walk there together. I started to fidget on my feet. Being stuck in his gaze always seems to be daunting, considering it's so hard to read. But he sees nothing, as if expecting me to continue. If you haven't made up your mind, I'll just go. Don't want to be late. I force out laughter that sounds more like pain than anything with a quick nod. I'm turning on my heel and leaving the property. I continue down the sidewalk, processing what just happened. It's a no-brainer that I know much about the guy, and I only witnessed that proves it further. Joestar has only been pretty evasive. He always seems to be like he wants to be alone. He never says much of anything. God, why do I even care? But honestly, I can't help it. At this point, I'm pretty invested. To think all this started from dropping off a guy's homework? Quick save. Ah, shit. What about my homework? I know I finished it last night, but did I put it in my bag before I left? I stopped walking and quickly unzipped my bag, finding the notebook that held my latest assignment was missing. Without even letting myself process another thought, I turned back round and run home. I walk into class as ready as ever to take on the day. But a new sight pulls my attention towards the back of the class. Joestar was sitting in his assigned spot, feet propped up on the top of the desk and hat pulled over his eyes. Is he asleep? And more importantly, is that really him? Here at school? As I approach my desk, I get closer to him. There's no way this is some imposter. Who can mistake that edge of that jawline? I pull my chair out and sit down, my eyes still stuck to Joestar. It's weird seeing him at school. Every time before this, I've only ever seen him at his house. Greet him. I clear my throat to announce my presence. Good morning, Joestar. It's nice to see you here for once. Joestar doesn't say anything, but tugs at the bill of his hat further down his face. Can't help but see it's his own kind of greeting. Today I'll be matching you up with a partner. Thank you. Please partner up with Joestar, please. 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 Despite Miss Erina's sweet little smile, everyone around me groans, sorry. Group work never has fans, does it? Trust me, you'll want a partner for this project. Her smile is unwavering as she refers to one of the objects on the desk. It's a sack of flour? You and your partner will be taking on the role of parents. Your assignment is to simply take care of the baby. In other words, tender a sack of flour. She picks up the flower and cradles it in her arms as if it was an actual baby. Some students laugh, already deciding that this project will be no sweat. The atmosphere also lightens up, with most of us thinking it'll be pretty fun. Of course, it could be a nightmare depending on who ends up becoming your spouse. You'll be spending today's class time meeting you with your partner, naming your child and dressing it up. Miss Erina sets down the flower baby and looks down at some paperwork on the teacher's podium. I've already divided you up into pairs, so listen closely for your name and you will be with who you're working with. I lean back into my chair, anticipating my fate. Whoever I get stuck with, I'm sure it won't be too bad. If it's someone who's a stickler for their grade, they're more than free to handle this project however they want. But if it's someone who could care less, I can't afford to step up and make sure we both pass. Sazi-san. I lift my head to give her my attention. Oh boy. And Joestar Kujo. Wait. Really? I look over to Joestar and he just nods at me. If he's already dreading this project, I don't blame him. He probably definitely most likely thinks I'm strange. But it's not like we're strangers. Miss Erina finishes up her reading of her pairs and turns us loose. One of you come and fetch your baby. I also have other materials for you to decorate with. I turn back to Joestar, but he's already getting up and heading to the front of the class to collect what we need. I can't tell you what he's picking up, but soon making his way to me, arms full of miscellaneous craft supplies. We're not possibly going to use all this, right? Maybe he had me in mind when he gathered them. Do I look like the crafty type? He nudges an empty seat nearby closer to me and sets the stuff down on my desk. What are we naming it? Is it just me or does he seem a little enthusiastic about this? Let Joestar name it. You can choose the name, I'm not best with names. Heh. Joestar is quiet for a minute to think. He's really putting some thought into it. I start to wonder if he'll give up and just insist I come up with something, but then he holds up a finger. Joestar? I'll say Joestar. Joestar? Joestar shakes his head. Yeah, so it is Joestar. Excuse me a minute, I'm just getting more comfortable because my back is goddamn aching in this chair. Jesus. Oh. Okay. Joestar shakes his head. Joestar. So it's not Joestar, it's Joestar. Isn't that what I said? Like your name? No. He scoffs and grabs the pencil to scribble it down in something in my notebook. Joestar. Oh, Joestar. With that done, you just gotta personalise it. I grab the flour sack and set it between us. How do you want to do this? Joestar fidgets with the tape as he looks at the sack. It needs a face. He's just poking at it. Right, surmising. Joestar grabs the sack and pulls something out of his pocket. It's a cigarette. I don't try to stop him and only watch. What the hell is he doing with that thing? Joestar tears off a piece of tape and attaches the cigar onto the flower piece. Oh, it's... There's, it smells! What the fuck? I could only imagine him literally force giving Jolene cigarettes as a child. He secures it with some more tape and grabs some of the markers he brought over to draw a crooked smile. The cigarette is placed perfectly as it's between his lips. What the fuck? I only looked at it, stumped beyond words. Yeah, I guess that'll work. It just needs eyes. Joestar gives me the marker. Your turn. I tape it and tap it against my chin and thought, the kid's eyes could make it or break its looks. Like, I'm no Picasso or anything, but let's see how this turns out. Go away, this. Scary. Jesus fuck. Maybe I used Joestar too much as inspiration, but after doodling out the eyes, I cap the marker and show him. Look, Joestar. It looks like a grumpy and maybe a little too serious, but let's just say that because you're the dad, and so of course your features will show up. Joestar scoffs. He crosses his arms, but his expression softens with amusement. What about you? What features does the kid get from you? My dazzling personality, of course. Now that the baby has a face, both of us seem pretty satisfied, so I get up to return the rest of the materials. As I sit back down, Miss Erina speaks up. Before class ends, decide who is going to take care of the child for the first week. You'll be switching parenting duty every week until the end of the project. I look at Joestar and pat the flour sack. I'll take Joestar for the first week if that's okay. Joestar nods, reaching out to adjust the cigarette he taped on. Sure. This mage will be coming back, right? At least when you have to trade off? He pauses and looks at me. It'd be a dick move to start ditching school again and make me a single parent, let's be real. Yes, he is a dick. Yes, he abandoned his child. Yeah, I'll come back. Bullshit. He nudges the baby closer to me and tugs on the bill of his hat. Joestar. I try and catch up with Joestar in my arms. As soon as Miss Arena dismissed the class, he wasted no time leaving. But when he heard me call out his name, he paused at me and looked at me unexpectedly. Well, we live on the same street, so how about we walk home together? I offered a smile. Surely, we're not exactly friends, but we're getting there, aren't we? But before Joestar can answer, someone bumps into me from behind. Startled, I drop Joestar onto the floor. May he rest in peace. It all seemed to happen in such slow motion. I watched our child tumble out of my hands and splat onto the ground. My gut freezes in panic when I see the edge of the sack split open and flowers spill all over the floor. Joestar? I looked up, but he's gone. Students walking by either laugh or express their sympathy, but I fall onto my knees and try and scoop the flower back into the sack. What a perfect start to this goddamn project. Even if it hasn't been an hour, my baby is dead.
Homer is dead.
I should probably hit up the market later to buy duct tape and more flour to fill up Joestar. Ding dong, ding dong. The bell rings, and with it begins lunch period. It's Joestar's turn to take care of Joestar and babysit, but I haven't seen him all day. Of course, it's always possible that he's ditched class. Old habits, am I right? But he said he'd be here. At any rate, if he really doesn't show up today, I'll stop by his place and just drop off the baby. God, it sounds like we're divorced and it's already been a week. With Joestar in my arms, I set off in search for Joestar. I have no idea where to start, but I gotta try. My search takes me outside on a hunch. I look from left to right as I walk through campus. Maybe he's behind the building, a stereotypical delinquent. I walk right into something or someone, and it saves me falling back onto the ground. My parental instincts kick in, and I hold Joestar tight against my chest. This only means my arms aren't free to break my fall as my ass feels the brunt of the impact. Motherfucker! I tense upon feeling the pain of a hit tailbone. My apologies. Oh!
Look who it is. Look who it is. He's beautiful.
I look up and see red hair. He's holding his hand out to me and I take it. With his help, I get back on my feet. Ah, this guy looks familiar. Thanks. No need to thank me. I was the one who knocked you down. He offers me an apologetic smile and looks from Joestar to me. Ah, you're Joestar's neighbour, aren't you? And his partner for home ec? Whoa, who is this guy? Yeah, how did you know? I take a step back and it seems to notice my rising suspicion. In response, he just bows his head in a greeting. I'm Pt.1, a friend of Joestar's.
Oh, he's so kawaii.
Wait, so Joestar does have friends? Oh, I'm Sazi-san. Did Joestar not tell you that? Not at all, he's only described you to me. What has he said about me? Really? What did he say? Kakuma just smiles at me knowingly. That you're his new neighbour and partner for home ec. Huh. Guess whatever it is, I'm not allowed to know. Well, about you. Are you really his friend? He always seemed like the loner type. Maybe friend is the wrong word for it. He seems to think to himself. Talk about mysterious. Anyway, are you looking for him? I nod and hold up the baby. Yeah, it's his turn to I can't say it the way it does on the anime. I've always wanted to learn how to do it and I can't. It's too hard. Yeah. Let's just do this. It'll make it sound a lot better. Yeah, that's the Lick adventure. Yeah, he turns... It's his turn to take care of Joestar off his hands for a week. Pt.1 holds out in a laugh and just points behind me. Yeah, he's taking a break behind the school there. Once you see the dumpsters, just keep going or you'll run into him. So I was right. Gotcha, thanks. I wave goodbye and pick up pace as I head to where Pt.1 is indicated. The smell of wet garbage gets to me the closer I get. There's no way Jotaro is willingly spending his time here. But I walk past the dumpsters as Pt.1 said, and I pick up on a cigarette smoke and pause. Jotaro? I call out, not expecting much of a reply. Hey. I look over in his direction of his voice and spot him sitting on the ground and leaning against the wall. He's looking up at me with a lit cigarette between his lips. Oh, hey. I stand awkwardly, waiting for some kind of response, but he only snuffs out the cigarette in the dirt and lets out a soft sigh as he stands. Sorry for disturbing your peace, I guess. You're certainly not getting the Father of the Year award. Yeah, I think he's got that already. I relax a little, realising that there's no real hostility between us, but he's not saying anything or even looking at me. So what are you up to anyway? I ran into your friend, Pt.1, and he says you're taking a break. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Jotaro shifts in his spot and falls silent again. This is one hell of a break room. I glance around the area. Aside from being near the dumpsters, there's scatter of trash and cigarette butts, not to mention the cruel graffiti scribbled on the wall he's leaning against. But it's quiet and really out of the way. Not much people come through here, I guess, Perfect for Mr. Tall, dark, and handsome. Jotaro scoffs at my remark and shrugs. Don't you have class? You're the one to talk, listen. You're the one to talk. Listen. I've been looking for you to give you Juta. It's your week to babysit, remember? Jotaro finally looks back at me and then to the flour sack. He clears the trash around and pats on the ground. Yeah, just leave him here. Granted, if Jotaro was living, breathing, mini-human, I wouldn't even entertain the thought of entrusting Jotaro, but I do as he says, and I set the sack beside him. It's about time Juta got some bonding time with you. Jotaro scoffs and let a smile slip. He pulls his hat further over his eyes to hide and he shoos me away. Right, you should get going. Lunch is almost over. Fine, I guess I'll see you around. I turn to leave him and give him a slight wave as I head back. As I make my way back to the main building, the bell rings to signify the end of lunch. I pick up the pace and head back to class, my mind lingering on Jotaro. I really don't know that much about him, do I? Despite everything, I don't have much of a grasp on who he is. For one, he's hard to read. For another, he seems really guarded. Of course, that can change in the moment I spend with him. The more the time I spend with him. But will I really have the chance? Will he give me that chance? I can feel the weight of the thoughts as he inspires hang on my shoulders. And then keep following me all the way to the school building. As I make my way to school, I see a familiar hulking figure about 100 feet ahead. Jotaro! He pauses and turns around, giving me a chance to catch up. Morning, where's Juta? Jotaro refers to his school bag as we both start walking together. Safe and snug. Seriously, is that how you take care of a baby? I can't be too mad though. It is safer in his bag than if we were to carry him around. How was babysitting duty, by the way? Did Jolene ask about it? Jotaro only shrugged. I just left it on the floor somewhere all week. I actually thought I lost it this morning. The apathy in his voice felt more than genuine. He really couldn't give a shit about this project, huh? Honestly, same. I can't help but laugh, however. Part of me wonders if he regrets coming back to school. Honestly, same. It's probably the best, though. Handling around a sack of flour too much probably won't end well. We continue to walk in silence, a pleasant sense of comfort and ease settling on my shoulders. Sure, Jotaro is intimidating in more ways than one, but I think it's safe to say that he and I are alright with each other. Maybe friends is underestimating things, but we're certainly not enemies. The day carried on, as always. Eventually, the bell rang out to let us know the lunch was over. It's now the last day of... It's the last class of the day, and that only means one thing. The baby project has come to an end. I left Joestar with Jotaro for the day, and while I make my way back to class, I keep an eye open for him. It wasn't until I turn the corner that I spot him. He seems to notice me too, and we make our way over to each other. I can see Jotaro in his arms and... Am I smiling? I press my lips together to hide it, and when we're close enough I begin to speak and throw my hand out to wave. Hey, how was the kid? But while I tried to start some friendly conversation, I miss how Jotaro began to give me Joestar. During mid-wave, I knocked the flour sack out of his grip and smacked it onto the ground. The flour spills out much like how it did on the first day. I let out a shriek in panic and dropped to my knees. I've killed him! I've killed our baby! Shit. We failed. We failed as parents, as students, and as responsible human beings. I ignore the other people around me as I try to desperately scoop the flour back into the sack, picking up bits of dirt and stray hairs along the way. In front of me, Jotaro just stands there and watches. He starts to make a move to walk around me, but I look up at him. I'm sorry, I've pretty much given us an F. He only shrugs. Guess this makes us Humpty Dumpty's horses and men. Since we can't put him back together again. His joke catches me off guard and I let out a laugh. Since we can't put him back together again. I can't help but smile as I finish up cleaning the best I can. But that's not how it goes. Jotaro looks at me as if asking for answers. I get back up, flour dusted all over my uniform. It's the king's horses and men. All the king's horses and all the king's men come by Humpty Dumpty together again. He seems to ponder about this as we walk into the class together. I offer a smile, feeling as if maybe things are okay after all, whether or not we pass or fail. It was fun. Miss Erina wastes no time on giving us our grades as we walked in. She instructed us to sit with our partners, and only took a look at the state of our flour sack before jolting down our scores as she travelled through the classroom. As expected, Jotaro now, I failed. Even as Jotaro was on my desk, flour was leaking out still. I looked over at Jotaro. He's leaning back in the chair, head tilting up towards the ceiling with his hat over his eyes. Is he taking a nap? It is what it is. It is what it is. You could have been more helpful or extra credit. I struck a sigh as I ease into my seat. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Maybe I'm talking more to myself, seeing how Jotaro doesn't respond to any kind of way. But if he heard me, at least he has an idea of how I'm feeling about the whole thing. The guy can do what he wants, but I shift my attention to Miss Erina as she goes on with the next lesson. Here lately, Jotaro has been coming to class more often than not, but it makes me notice his absences even more profoundly. Today was one of those days. For some reason, seeing his empty seat at the back of the class puts me in a weird, melancholy mood. Mr. Jonathan walks in and the chatter in the classroom dies down. He takes attendance, but I can't help but notice that he's in a really good mood. Well, maybe not the best way to put it since good seems to be his permanent state of mood. He seems excited about something. Mr. Jonathan rushes through the morning announcements before taking a beat. Okay, so this is about the... Yeah, this is about the beach. We're going to the beach. More excited chatter. My first thought is about Jotaro. Does he like the beach? He does not like the sand. Someone as gloomy as him probably hates the loud, bright, crowded atmosphere. Even still, I'll take a note to tell him about the trip. Who knows, maybe he'll surprise me. As Jonathan goes over the specifics of the trip, I find myself playing out how I'll bring it up to Jotaro. If I play my cards right, I just might be able to convince him. So he'll not let somebody with bad grades go, but he'll let somebody who has really shitty attendance go. Nonny. I go straight to Joestar's house after school. I've been rehearsing what I should say for hours, but as I walk up to his door, I'm drawing a blank. He'll probably just side-eyed me and close the door in my face like he did our first meeting, but it didn't take it any easier knowing that thought. I raise my hand to knock. I lower it. God, this is stressful. Sazi-san? What are you doing here? I sigh. At this point, I'm not too sure myself. What are you doing? I typically go to Joestar's house after classes. He holds up a stack of papers. He likes to look all over the lessons from the day. Huh. So even if he doesn't show up to school, he still makes sure he's caught up. The fact that he actually puts in effort toward his education, even if he is a pretty roundabout way, it really is surprising to me. Joestar really is an interesting guy.
So that's why.
Kakyoin drops me a wink. Oh. Don't let him know I told you, though. It might tarnish the bad boy persona he's worked so hard on. I put my hand over my heart. The secret is safe with me. Kakyoin chuckles before looking me over. I let you know why I'm here, so it's your turn. Tell him. I kick my foot up and down, feeling a little stupid at my reason, but I do intend to tell him nonetheless. It was only fair since he told me for his reason. There's a class trip coming up and I wanted to tell him about it. Kakyoin nods solemnly. Ah yes, the beach trip. Joestar doesn't like going on class outings, so he normally wouldn't even entertain the idea of going. Normally? Oh, this year it's a little different. How so? Why, because you're here now.
Aw, that's so cute.
Kakyoin gives that I know something you don't know smile that he's so fond of. I'm sure if you ask him nicely, he'll come along. I feel like I'm one of those old timey-wimey cartoons where the whole face turns cherry red. I'm surprised the steam isn't pouring off my nose and ears. Excuse me. Just then, the front door opens. I thought I heard you two out here. What the hell are you doing? I was just having a friendly chat with Sazi-san. Jotaro huffs. Well, go and do it somewhere else rather than my front porch. Actually, Sazi-san had something to ask you. Isn't that right, Sazi? Part of me is grateful for Kakyoin acting as the wingman in this situation. The other larger part of me is internally slinging the foulest curses at him for putting me on the spot. Jotaro is looking at me unexpectedly. Expectantly. His face completely unreadable. Damn it. I can't back out now, thanks to Kakyoin. I guess I have to get it over with. There's actually a class trip coming up. Mr. Jonathan was talking about it this morning. Jotaro's expression doesn't change, so I trudge forward. Well, we'll be going to the beach. Still nothing. Kakyoin gives me an encouraging smile, egging me on. So I, just wanted you to know. Is that all you wanted to say? Kakyoin, you monster.
You beast.
No, I guess it isn't it. Okay, so here goes nothing. I thought it would be fun if you went too. I mean, if you want to. If you aren't busy. If you're up for it. If you don't have plans. Okay, now I'm rambling. I snap my mouth shut and wait for him. Wait, with my heart in my throat. There's no way he'll agree, especially with my sloppy conversation. With my sloppy words. I want to melt in the cracks in the ground. I want to melt in the cracks of his ass. The beach, huh? Sure. Sure? I'll go. Kakyoin looks happy but not surprised. I, on the other hand, feel like I've just been sucker punched in the gut in the best way. Oh, okay, I guess, I take a few steps to make my hasty retreat before Jotaro can change his mind. I stumble a bit and Kakyoin hides a laugh. I'll see you later. I break into dead sprint into my house.
Holy shit, I did it. I did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. I am so sorry. Okay. I did it. Ah, the beach.
I take in a big breath. God, I love the ocean air. A lot of the students have already dispersed, but Jonathan raises his voice to be heard over their excited chatter and the crash of the waves. Don't go too deep in the water and stay close enough to see me. Other than that, be kind and have fun. There's some close cheering and a couple of kids making a beeline to the ocean. I watch them with a smile before turning in a small circle and squinting. Where's Jotaro? We haven't talked since I'd asked him to come, and he wasn't at the train station with the rest of the class this morning. I know I should have my hopes up, but I'd be damned if I'm not a little disappointed. I sigh and consider a little hunting for Josuke. But deciding against it, my mood has been dampened and I don't want to ruin his fun with my gloominess. I guess I'll just lay out here in the sun hoping for some UVs to bake my brain. I find a nice empty spot with the sand and plop down. Careful of the stands. I guess I shouldn't have realised he was coming this morning, but a part of me was hoping that he had taken an earlier train. Yeah, right, like that could happen. Just because I'd been counted down the days of the trip didn't mean Jotaro felt the same way. I picked up a handful of the sand and just sifted it through my fingers. I'm such an idiot. Baka. Baka, 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 baka. Hey. I turned my head at the voice. I'm a little peeved that it's someone bothering my soul and lamenting. But the tune changes immediately as I see who it is.
Who is it? Me gusta. Oh, me gusta. Look at the new place. Look at the new place.
I jump and brush off my shorts. I thought you weren't coming. I already said I'd go, didn't I? Yeah, I guess you did. I just figured you slept in or forgot something. Jotaro shrugs and looks out to the water, seemingly done with the conversation. We both take a seat in the sand and enjoy the light breeze and warm sun. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that Jotaro actually showed up. And if Catgiving wasn't bullshitting, it was because of me. I wonder what made me so special.
You probably have big knuckles.
I look covertly over at Jotaro and see that he's pulled something out of his jacket pocket in a flimsy blue and folding into a square. He finds a little plastic nozzle and wraps his lips around it before exhaling. The blue thing crinkles and it expands a bit. A few more puffs and the thing's inflated. Jotaro caps the nozzle and turns to me. I bought a friend.
Oh, that's so kawaii.
Oh my god. What's his name? I haven't really thought about it.
Look at the face.
So sensual. Why don't you name him? Jotaro's spirits are unusually high today. With how I feel right now, I think it's contagious. I tap the dolphin on the nose. I dub the Jow to the second. That works.
Oh my god, he's blushing.
Like some sort of emotional comedian, my face heats up too. I'm trying to do a really stupid joke here, but I don't know if it's working. Oh my god. Oh, what am I doing right now? I'm just trying to make a stupid joke. Why am I doing this? Can I have a minute and just do this joke? This isn't gonna happen, is it? It's not gonna happen. I was going to zoom in on the new place, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Oh well. Like some sort of emotional comedian, my face heats up too. He looks towards the water and takes in a deep breath. Today's a good day to be at the beach. Do you like the beach? Do you like the... You're talkative today, or do you like the beach? I do. Something about the ocean makes me feel... right. Like where I belong. I open my mouth, but I find that I can't think of anything to say. I wasn't expecting such a thoughtful, sweet answer. Joestar is definitely more than meets the eye, but I think that's the way I've been drawn into him since our first meeting. Joestar sets Jouter the second down and breathes in deeply again. Sorry I'm talking so much, I don't know what's gotten into me. I don't know, but you can get into me if you know what I mean. Don't be sorry. I smile. I'm glad you told me. We both look before Joestar takes off towards the water. I watch his retreating back and my heart feels warm and full. Aww. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to follow him, so I decide to watch from a distance. He plods into the shallow water with gentle waves licking at his tan calves. He searches around for a while, taking small steps with his head down seriously. What's he looking for? I smile to myself. Joestar really does like the beach. I honestly figured he wouldn't be into it, considering the loud, obnoxious people and the unrelenting sun. I use my toes to play in the sand as I pass the time and watch Joestar. He picks up a wad of seaweed before tossing it to the side and continuing on. He really is, like, into his private little treasure hunt. The beach ball rolls over to me and I pick it up. Oi! Over there, Sassy Sa- Why are you wearing that? What is with the speedos? I put the ball over my head and give it my best throw. The wind catches it and Joseph still has to run a distance to achieve it. I can't say I didn't try. I look back. Oh shit. And at Joestar and he's crouched down looking into the water. A minute passes and I figure out that he's found whatever he was looking for. I make my way over to him, but I stay dry on land, just out of reach of the waves. Oh, he looks so sad. Oh, that's so cute. He must feel my presence because he turns his head and looks at me before turning back to whatever he's entranced with. I found a sea star. Oh? I crouched down too, for solidarity. I've only seen a few of them in my lifetime. I call them starfish, though. A lot of people call them that, but they really aren't fish. The echinoderms? Echinoderms? Echinoderms. Sea star is more accurate. I like the sound of sea star better too. It does have a prettier ring to it, I'll give it that. Joestar goes back quietly to watching his spindly new friend. His face looks so soft right now. I feel honoured to see that side of him. I have a feeling that not many people do. I stand up and take a few steps into the water. It's a little chilly, but it's a lovely contrast to being in the sun. I crouch down again beside him as I peer into the water. Below the wavering surface is a starfish, a sea star, right next to the clump of swaying seaweed. It's beautiful. Joestar hums in agreement.
Let's poke it.
I'm glad you came today. It's kind of quietly, and when Joestar doesn't respond, I figure the sounds of the ocean carried away my voice. But then, in a tone matching mine, Joestar speaks. I'm glad you thought to invite me. I smile down into the water, but for some reason I feel a little sad. Joestar probably isn't used to being invited to go to places. His personality can be a little rough, but when you bother to get to know him, he's a good person. I'm sure a lot of people don't bother though. I wish I could show those assholes that this is Joestar, the content to watch a sea star with such a tender face. At the very least, I'm happy that the one few that has the privilege to see his side of him. With a content sigh, Joestar stands. I'll be right back.
Don't be too long.
I stay in the water when Jotaro leaves, just watching the seaweed push and pull with the current. It's almost hypnotizing. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have noticed the little sea star hiding amongst the green vegetation. I'm glad I got the chance to see it. I get up and wade out of the water, a little annoyed as the dry sand clings to my feet. I have the intentions to find Jotaro, but he finds me first.
That looks a little seductive.
He's returned with his dolphin and 2 popsicles and he hands me one. I didn't know what flavour you like. I hope sea salt is okay. I've never tried it, but I'm so thrilled that he got me something that I don't care what it tastes like. He could have brought me back a charred stick and I cherish it. I take it and we both lick at the treat silently. It's interesting. The salt is definitely noticeable, but it's also very sweet. I decide that I really like it. Yeah. Jotaro grunts and makes a weird face when he's about halfway done with his treat. Are you okay? Brain freeze. His answer catches me off guard and I laugh. Jotaro looks distraught though, so I collect myself. Press your tongue against the roof of your mouth. He looks skeptical, but he does it. It's gone. It's a nifty little trick a friend taught me. That's really useful. I have never had brain freeze. So I don't know what it's... I bet now I said that and I next try something, I'm going to have brain freeze. I nod, and we both look out to the ocean and enjoy our treats and the company of one another. Alright class, start gathering your things. Can't believe it's already been 4 hours. The sun started to dip in... The sun has started to dip in the sky. Now in another... And I know in another hour it will be dark. Time sure does fly when you're having fun. Do you have all of your things, Sati-san?
I have you now, don't I?
I don't want to give him a smile. I had a lot of fun today. Yeah, I did too. It looks like he's about to say something else, so I stay quiet. Is it just me, or does he seem a little nervous? We should hang out again sometime.
Yes, we should.
Just the 2 of us. Ooh, chow. Ooh. Holy smokes, did he really ask me to hang out? Just the 2 of us? Like a date? If that's what you want to call it. Okay. So, would you like to? Now the initial shock has worn off, I'm quick with my answer. Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. Jotaro nods, obviously pleased with my answer. With a skip to my step, we follow our classmates off to the beach. Quick save. As I approach the building, I can already see Jotaro's hulking frame standing outside. I'm 15 minutes early. How long has Jotaro been here then? He spots me and makes his way over. I already got our tickets. You didn't have to pay for mine. It's not a big deal. I'll buy his lunch then. He shrugs. I had the feeling that when the time comes he'll insist to pay for that too. Well, whatever. I don't mind being spoiled by Jotaro. There's little groups of people surrounding the glass, quietly oohing and eyeing as the fish lazily zoom around. We approach the booth and the employee gives Joestar a chipper smile. Back again, Kujo-san? Jotaro nods. So he's a regular here. I guess I'm not all that surprised.
I bet he has a season ticket.
He holds his hand out without being asked, and the woman stamps it. He looks back at me and I step forward to give her my ticket. Jotaro has been blocking me from view, so the employee looks at me with shock. Oh, you've brought someone with you this time? He nods again. Is this your first time here? Yeah, it is. I'd offer you a tour, but Kujo-san here probably knows the place better than any of the workers. She holds the stamp out and I give her my hand. She presses it against my skin before both giving us a bright smile. You two have fun now, you hear? We both bow our heads politely and make our way into the aquarium.
Whilst we go into the aquarium, I shall take a drink of iron brew. Ah, delicioso.
It's pretty busy. Even with Jotaro keeping his stride short, I have struggled not to lose him amongst the crowd. A group of people cut in front of me and I move around them. I can see Jotaro's hat, but he's further up ahead now. Jotaro! We both wade through the people until we meet again. You okay? Yeah, it's just really crowded. It's been busy like this since the birth of Miko. Miko? You'll get to meet her soon.
I bet she's the dolphin.
Holy shit, he's smiling. Whoever Miko is, he's obviously fond of her. Now I'm pretty excited too. Well, I look forward to meeting her. Well, she's just passed the bioluminescent exhibit. I mean, in the meantime, he holds his hand out to me. What's he want, a high five? My confusion must be clear on my face because he clearly holds it out more firmly, so we don't get split up. Oh, that's just a cute excuse to hold my hand. Uh-oh. Oh. Holy moly, wow, dang, goodness. Fuck. Gosh. As if my body is trying to sabotage me, my hands suddenly feel cold and clammy. I wipe my hand on my thigh and take his. It's big and warm, and swallows my hand easily.
Oh my goodness.
Is there anything you'd like to see first?
You dick.
As if I can think of something in this situation. Show me your favorite exhibits. Okay. Jotaro sure does know his stuff. When we started, I was reading into the little plaques, but I quickly decided I didn't need to. His information is more precise and in depth, and it's more likely interesting hearing him talk about these things anyway. The tour guide wasn't lying when she said Jotaro knew the place well. And sometimes when he's talking, well, he'll squeeze my hand. Aww. It makes me feel like my little heart is a bomb and it keeps exploding against my ribs. At first I thought I had trouble paying attention to anything else other than his hand around mine, but as the day wears on, it starts to feel natural. I eventually get my voice back at the point to fish and ask him about it. He's able to provide me with various details and facts about them. And then we get to the huge room where there's glass on the floor, and all the way up to the high ceiling. Everything in Cass is wavering blue, given like a dreamlike quality. He releases my hand, goes to the glass. His gaze is pointed upwards and follow it, and there above him is a baby beluga whale. Oh, so it's not a dolphin. It's not a dolphin. There she is, Miko. She's flitting around lazily, her little flippers giving a non-committal flap every once in a while. But it's obviously that she's still young. But even still, she's huge. Wow. 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 Wow.
What are you working on? Oh wow, hey, that's one of your little drawings. There he goes, pole vaults over the thing, here he goes, and there he is. Stop. Look, man. Oh, okay, no more fighting. Wow, you're so dominant. Wow, I sort of got screwed on the old bedroom selection. Every room's like 4 times as big as mine. Yeah, no kidding. Did you see what she had on yesterday? Wow. Yeah, I definitely got a soft spot for Theo.
Mr. Kilgore Trout. Kilgore Trout is wow. Kilgore.
Wow, look at this. Do you know what this means? Wow, you're in good company. Wow, that's great. That's great to give something back like that. I'd love to find time to do some volunteer work.
Are you guys insane? Do you understand that it's a disease?
Wow, now that...
Okay, I need to stop the wows. Wow. We currently watch as she moseys through the water. Something surreal seeing her move. Isn't she beautiful? I've never heard of a beluga whale called beautiful before, but I always thought their heads looked like a doughy, half-risen biscuit. Honestly, but biscuit, honestly. Oh, Jesus, I'm gonna, like, fucking burp and be sick at the same time, dude. But Jotaro's aura has affected me, and I totally understand what he means. She is. But I'm struck with another beauty, which to me is more breathtaking than Miko. It's Jotaro. Silhouetted by the dim blue light that filters through the water, he stands almost nose to glass as he watches Miko. He's so full of love and respect and awe of the young little mammal, but he's so different from the guy I've met only a few short months ago. But he wasn't different, was he? It was the same Jotaro, just that now I understood him. He now has a hard time reaching out for other people and communicating how he was used to being judged for his looks, and how he's made him somewhat reclusive. Jotaro? I tap him gently on the shoulder as he turns to me. Yeah?
What is it with that face?
Look at the damn face. Oh, it looks more like a female than male. Oh no, it's like a female Jotaro. Oh Jesus. I'm glad you brought me here today. I just wish that was an actual picture and not fan drawing. Like, it's fantastic. I won't be able to do a fan drawing like that in a million years, but I want to see that crisp, beautiful anime art. I'm glad you brought me here today. And I'm glad I got to know you. Jotaro doesn't say anything, we just look at each other for a long time. And then we kissed. Ooh. We make our way back to the front of the building. I feel a little disoriented, like I've just woken up from a dream. That was a lot of fun. I had fun too. We stand awkward in the lobby awkwardly, both knowing that it's time to go but not wanting to leave. Would you like to come back and visit Miko with me next week? Of course. He nods, pleased with my immediate answer. He leans in quickly and gives me a kiss on the cheek. I'll see you at school. I stand there and watch Jotaro leave, holding my burning cheek. As shocked and happy as I am for the second kiss, I'm even more elated about what he'd said. See you at school. I'm so proud of him. I'm so in love with him. Good end. Good end. It was the good end. So, does that mean that there's like that end with Josuke was not even an end? The one with Josuke wasn't even an end. Surely. What the? What is this? What is this? I love this though. That's just cute. He looks so sad. Oh, so there's no picture of him stood up on the beach. No. I wanted to keep it. Oakley dokley then. So I'm gonna give this game a rest today. It was fun. I've only got like an hour left, roughly. So I'll be back with another game for roughly an hour.